Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. Yeah, it is speculation time surrounding California Governor Gavin Newsom and his presidential dreams. Now, let me tell you, Newsom, he's quite the character. To many, he's got that Hollywood charm. Looks like he just stepped off the cover of GQ and speaks so smoothly, it's like he's auditioning to be a late-night talk show host, but let's not get carried away. Newsom's been busy hogging the media spotlight, duking it out with Florida Governor Ron DeSantis over those migrants flown to California. It's like a reality TV show, governor versus governor. But seriously, is this what we've come to? Governors trading insults and threatening each other with charges? And let's not forget Newsom's recent appearance on Fox News with Sean Hannity. Talk about a surprising matchup. It's like watching a lion taming act in Vegas. Hannity trying to keep up with Newsom's slickness and charisma. I have to admit, even some of Newsom's critics were impressed. They're like, wait, who is this guy? But here's the million-dollar question. What is Newsom really after? Some say he's running a shadow campaign, eyeing the presidency as an alternative to old sleepy Joe Biden. I mean, can you blame him? Newsom's young, energetic, doesn't need a nap every 5 minutes. He can walk upstairs and across a stage without assistance. He's like the opposite of Biden. It's like watching a race between the Energizer Bunny and a snail on Ambien. Now, I've seen enough politicians in my time to know that something is afoot. Politicians always have one eye on the next prize, and Newsom's national media tour hitting all the major networks is a clear sign he's itching for something more. But let's not forget, folks, being good in front of a camera, having a winning smile, doesn't automatically qualify you for the presidency. California, it's got its fair share of problems, from wildfires, high taxes, to 500,000 people that have left California. Did Newsom tackle those challenges? Not really. But did he skillfully distract from those problems? Absolutely. And that may be more important. If Newsom wants to prove himself as a serious contender, he'll have to do more than just flash a smile and deliver witty one-liners. Until then, let's enjoy the political circus and hope that our next president can do more than just look good in a tailored suit. My name's Tom Coffey. This is the Coffee Nuance Show, the best censored commentary and news show live right now. Flame on. Okay. Yeah, we're talking about Gavin Newsom. And I want to make it clear. You know, one thing is that some people just don't get. Just because you predict something doesn't mean you want it to happen. You know, I can make predictions and really not want them to happen. That's possible. You can do that, okay? So my prediction is that Gavin Newsom will be the next president of the United States. I have many reasons for this. One is about Newsom's media blitz that's been happening. So here's the story. California Governor Gavin Newsom's recent media appearance and confrontations with DeSantis has sparked speculation about his political ambitions. Newsom's criticized DeSantis over transportation of migrants to California, even suggesting the possibility of kidnapping charges. Despite some Democrats pushing against the idea of this shadow campaign, Newsom's national media presence has raised interest in his political future. Some believe his aggressive approach benefits President Biden, allowing Newsom to speak candidly when the president can't, and because the president can't even string together two sentences. While Biden's popularity wanes, which is an understatement, concerns about his age persist. Newsom's rising profile positions him as a potential alternative. However, some Democrats dismiss this notion. And I got to tell you that that is the total giveaway to me. Often you will see this, that whatever they say, it's the exact opposite of that. And so for me, it appears that Gavin Newsom is the strongest advocate for Joe Biden. He's the strongest advocate. Why is he doing that? So I can't really get into talking about, my faith in the electoral system in the United States. I will state that every single election is 100% true. And even though YouTube changed their policy to allow you to question previous elections, that's a trap, and I'm not falling for it. I will reiterate that every presidential election is 100% above board. There's never been an issue. Not going to fall for that one. But I would then also say that the next election will be as genuine and as trustworthy as the last one. And with that being the case, I'm pretty confident that the winner of the next election, and perhaps all the elections for the rest of history, will be won by Democrats. That's kind of how I feel about it, because they have such a strong message and everything. But the way to, but I do see this as a strategic advantage for the Democrats to just say, no, Joe Biden's our guy. We're not going to hold any debates. Pound sand if you don't like it. And then, at the last minute, do the old switcheroo. That way, Newsom won't get the, will be able to have the nomination and won't be able to be challenged by outsiders like Kennedy. Will this happen before or after the primary day? I think the way that this would come through is just prior to the primary election. That's when I think the old switcheroo is going to happen. This is just pure speculation on my part, but I think Biden's going to have a really hard time winning the presidency. And it's going to be harder and harder to believe the results if Biden wins. And so to combat that, and to be clear, all the elections in the United States, especially the presidential election, are 100% legit and on the up and up, right? But it's going to be harder for people to believe that they are if Biden's the winner. So I think the old switcheroo is going to happen just prior to the primary. That would be my guess. But we got some other reasons to think about that, and one of them is that I don't even think that Biden's running. He doesn't act like he's running. Here we are. It's already June. And here's the website. We've got this, we can finish the job. That's an interesting phrase. I'm not going to make any comment about finishing the job. If you know, you know. And they do this weird thing here where on all their campaign stuff, they have, some handwriting, looks like some notes. America is back. And I guess that's Joe signed that there. I guess. And they do this throughout the website. When we look at the merch that is selling, because right now, Joe doesn't seem to be campaigning whatsoever. And you would think with having such low approval ratings and you're running for president, what you want to do is get out there and campaign. There's no campaign. Where's the campaign? Well, here on the website, they're cashing in on Pride Month. They've got the aviator sunglasses. I'm surprised that they're able to use this for copyright trademark reasons. The aviator sunglasses from Ray-Ban apparently doesn't care about their intellectual property because they're letting Biden use it for this. They've got the dark Brandon meme, which is total cringe. But here's what we have. We've got the regular t-shirt, the Biden-Harris t-shirt. It hasn't even changed. It's barely changed from the last election. We've got the button here, finish the job. And see, they've circled the finish. Does anyone think that that's good marketing or good design? Here we got the yard sign, and look. See, they've got a big red circle. Someone circled the yard sign. See, look at this. It's a yard sign. It's circled. See, it's circled. What else we got? We got a Kamala Pride sticker. I can just see everybody wearing this t-shirt here. Kamala wearing a bedazzled Pride jacket. We've got this limited edition. It's the full flag with all the trans colors and the black and brown colors. We're not allowed to... We can't really make this one any bigger. We can't really see what is underneath the flag. It's probably a Biden-Harris logo, but we can't even, oh, let's see. We can't even make that bigger. But what else we got? That's it. This doesn't look like a real campaign. He's not out there making stops. He's not out there doing rallies. It's already June. By this time, even Obama was out campaigning for re-election when Obama ran. He was out campaigning. He was having big rallies. What, we're not doing that anymore? So to me, it doesn't even look like Joe Biden's running. Like, we can look over here at Kennedy's website. And look, Kennedy's got the merch. He's got the tie-dye. He's got the hoodies. He's got... new little logos. I don't think the logo's great here. But we got some different Kennedy 2024 logos. The vertical logo here. This is the one on the far right here. That's the one I got. But at least this looks like a campaign website. The Biden, I don't know. You would think he would be out there, getting out there in the public, holding big rallies, and he's not doing that. So to me, this is just letting me know that he's not really running, and he's a placeholder, and he will be replaced by Gavin Newsom. I'm not a fan of Gavin Newsom, but at least he can read a teleprompter. At least he can walk across a stage without falling down. At least I haven't seen Gavin Newsom groping people on live cameras. So in many ways, Gavin Newsom is, 100 times better than Joe Biden. But they're going to have to pull the old switcheroo. Anyway, that's my prediction. If you wanted to get in on any gambling sites, I'm not going to encourage that whatsoever. But if you were to put $100 down on Gavin Newsom being the next president, right now the odds, they'd pay you $2,500. Just saying. Anyway, that's the main thing I wanted to talk about here at the beginning of the show. Got a number of stories to get to today. Remember, stick around in the after show. I'll be going through all your comments because we are streaming live every day on Rumble, rumble.com/coffeenuance/live. Bookmark it if you haven't signed up for Rumble yet. There's a link in the description. I don't get paid anything for that, but it's kind of neat that I can see how many people have joined Rumble through my link. So if you could click that, it just makes me feel good. And we're also streaming live on YouTube Monday to Friday. My name's Tom Coffey. This is the Coffee and Nuance Show at Coffee and Nuance on all the social medias. And today is June 19th, also known as Juneteenth. May touch that just a sec. But let's get to the first story. It's about Apple. Now, why is Apple trying to trademark apples? Do they really think it's going to confuse people? A piece of fruit and an overpriced iPhone? Is anyone getting those confused? I mean, if I wanted to take a bite out of an apple, I'd go to a grocery store, not the Apple store. Well, let's be honest, Apple didn't invent the apple. I'm pretty sure Adam and Eve got there first, I guess. Next, will Apple be suing Gravity for making all the iPhones fall on the ground? It's just trademark madness, folks. So here's the story. The Fruit Union Suisse, Switzerland's oldest and largest fruit farmers organization, may need to change its logo because Apple is seeking intellectual property rights over depictions of apples. So here it is right here. Apple's made similar requests to IP authorities in different countries. The case is currently in Swiss courts, and the Fruit Union Suisse is concerned about potential restrictions on using apple shapes in various contexts. Apple has a history of aggressively pursuing trademark infringements, even unrelated to their core business. The global intellectual property rights industry encourages unnecessary trademark competition. Smaller businesses often yield to pressure from big companies due to the system's bias. The court's decision will impact the Fruit Union Suisse's logo and could result in rebranding and financial losses. So again, this is some more intellectual property nonsense. I think it's all nutty and silly. First of all, this this company is, like 100 years old. Okay, they've been using this logo, not this particular logo, but the apple with the Swiss cross with the red and the white, reminiscent of the Swiss flag, longer than there's been computers. Okay, but somehow Apple is now suing because they got the apple. I don't know. A lot of intellectual property law is kind of silly to me. I don't think that there's any confusion about this whatsoever. But then again, I'm not an IP lawyer. So what do I know? What do I know? Would you be confused between the two logos? And if you would, I don't know. But, of course, Apple doesn't seem to go after any intellectual property issues in China because China doesn't care about an intellectual property whatsoever. And I'm kind of coming down on the side of that more and more. Perhaps in the coming days, I will be talking about a Chinese company that is selling knockoffs that you can order directly to your house in the U.S. and doesn't seem to be a big deal. No one seems to be going after the intellectual property of fakes made in China. But, confusing logo in Switzerland that they use for actual apples, well, that's a different thing. Anyway, next up, I've got some local news. Let's get to it. Portland's new artificial intelligence system will answer non-emergency calls, deciding if you need a human. Because in Portland, even phone calls need to be authentic, man. Oh, maybe that was funnier in my head. when I wrote it. Anyway, Portland is introducing an AI system called Case Service Reporting to handle non-emergency calls, determining if a human operator is needed. The system aims to address slow call response times, which currently stands at 42% of calls answered within 20 seconds. The city has implemented other technological solutions, like the ASAP automated abandoned callback, to tackle the issue. Officials are also considering transferring non-emergency lines to 311, but challenges such as retraining callers and renegotiating contracts need to be addressed. Staffing 311 around the clock may take years to achieve. So this is what they've done. They have decided to use AI for the non-emergency number. Now, one thing I don't believe, if they want to switch to 311, all they need to do is just keep the old number and keep and start using 311 and just all divert them to the same system. This doesn't have to be a big deal. You don't need a huge campaign. Hey, everybody, change the number in your phone to 311 rather than the old number. It's called call forwarding. Okay? Now, I have the non-emergency number in my phone. It's a long number that you can't remember, which is why I put it in under contact, under police, non-emergency. And so if I have a non-emergency, I can just go to my contacts and click on it. Now, currently, I've been having to deal with some non-emergency stuff, especially over the pandemic when there were issues with, people camping in front of my house and things like that I had to call non-emergency. And this story that I'm referencing is a total lie, because what they're doing is they're conflating how long it takes to answer 911 calls and how long it takes non-emergency calls. I would call the non-emergency call number and I would wait, 20, 30 minutes before I'd be able to talk to anyone. So this 40 seconds thing is just, it's BS. It's total BS. Is it going to be better having an AI to be able to direct your call? I don't know. I think that most time, anytime you get one of these automated services, you say, give me a human. Let me talk to a human. Perhaps occasionally a couple people will be able, they'll be able to give some instructions for people. But I don't think this is going to make any difference at all. That's just my take. Have you had to call non-emergency in your town? Because you cannot wait longer than what you wait here in Portland. I don't believe this has to be the worst system in the entire country. I can't imagine it being worse than it is. So, anyway, but that's just another story of more artificial intelligence being brought in to help businesses and organizations, and we'll just see how it works. And next up, I got another story about here in the Northwest. Hey, did you hear about the shooting near the music festival in the Gorge? It's a killer performance, but in all the wrong ways. Ouch. So this is from George, city of George, state of Washington. So from George, Washington, a shooting occurred near the Gorge Amphitheater. The Gorge is the name of, it's the Gorge. It's the high cliffs along the river that goes along the Columbia River out here between Oregon and Washington. But there was a shooting outside the amphitheater during the Beyond Wonderland Festival, and it left 2 people dead and injuring 3, including the suspect. The shooter fired into the crowd before fleeing and continued to shoot randomly. Law enforcement detained the suspect, who was injured, and because he was shot, And the investigation has been transferred to the North Central Washington Special Investigation Unit. Motives behind the shooting remain unknown. The festival's second day was canceled. So, I don't know if this made national news. You would think it would. You know, a shooting at a music festival should be big news. But I didn't see a whole lot of it. Apparently the media's decided that wasn't really a story, I guess. But the Gorge Amphitheater is really one of the most beautiful places in the country to see a concert. I've been there several times for concerts. Some of them you can camp out overnight. And this shooting took place in the camping area, which is outside of the amphitheater. So it's outside of the concert grounds. They have a huge camping area. What you do is you buy a camping spot, and it's kind of like a big parking lot, but it's like a big grass parking lot. And you get enough room that you can pull in, park your car, and you set your tent or whatever behind it. It's a lot of fun. It's a nice community event when you're camping there, because there's hundreds of people, and you can walk around at night and, you know, meet other people. Really, really cool. But this was an electronic music festival that they were having at the Gorge. It's outside. It's overlooking the river, and then these huge cliffs and everything on the other side. Really beautiful. You can look at, you know, across the canyon. Absolutely stunning place to see a concert. Years ago, I don't know, 15 years ago maybe, I saw Willie Nelson with the old 97s and drive-by truckers out there for a July 4th event. Just really stunning place. But, you know, a lot of people, when they're talking about this, it's like, well, what about security? How could, you know, how could this take place? This didn't take place inside the event. This was outside in the camping area. And it's a massive area where everyone, it's like a parking lot. Okay? And so are you going to be able to go through and check every single car that's coming into a parking lot to see if they have a gun? I don't know how that would be possible. Like, how would that be possible to check a car for a gun? That seems like a totally impossible task. And so, yeah, it is what it is. Tragic, and I'm sorry. You know, my heart goes out to the victims and the family of the victims. But this didn't actually happen inside the event. This was in, like I say, essentially the parking lot is where this took place. Anyway, is there, and I just wanted to ask, I'm asking you, the audience, the Gorge is a beautiful place to see a thing. I've seen also Red Rocks in Colorado is a beautiful outdoor venue to see a show. The amphitheater in Santa Fe is a beautiful place. Is there a beautiful outdoor venue near you that I should check out next time I'm doing a trip across the U.S. that I need to see a show? Let me know in the comments. That would be kind of cool. And just kind of share your own experience there. But lastly, we got to get to some good news after all of that. And I've got some good American news. Did you hear about the U.S. men's soccer team beating Canada 2-0? It's a rare sighting of American dominance in a sport that isn't football or basketball, but hey, at least they can kick it on the field, unlike our politicians who can't seem to kick anything except maybe the can down the road. Maybe we should send the U.S. men's team to negotiate international treaties. If they can score against Canada, they can score some diplomatic victories too. So here's the story. The U.S. men's soccer team defeated Canada 2-0 to win a regional competition. The victory showcased the U.S. team's dominance It was a significant win for the U.S. men's national team, USMNT. You'll see that acronym many places, indicating their strength in the region. So the regional competition is the Confederation of North, Central America, and Caribbean Association Football, and that's abbreviated as CONCACAF. It's one of FIFA's 6 continental governing bodies for association football, or soccer, as it's called. So basically, essentially, if I can summarize this, the big deal is that the U.S. beat Mexico. They beat Mexico in the semifinals, but that's pretty much it, because this whole tournament is North America, Central America, and the Caribbean, and the only 2 decent soccer teams are the U.S. and Mexico. And most of the time, Mexico beats the U.S. So in this particular case, the U.S. beat Mexico. So it's not as big a deal as they're making it out to be. But hey, this is something to celebrate. This is good news, right? We won. Well, you know, it's Pride Month, so we got to have pride in the U.S. And I think it's great that they won this tournament. But there are other regions of the world, and the U.S. would be hard-pressed to win against any other region. I don't know, maybe the Australian South Pacific region they might have a chance at. But South America, right, that ain't happening. Asia, probably not. You know, perhaps Europe. Good luck. That's not happening. I don't even think the U.S. would be favored in against any African winner. So, but it is what it is, and it's some good news. We need some good news on this Monday, Juneteenth. It is one little piece of trivia I wanted to tell you is the CONCACAF. It's the governing body of association football, and I think I've told you in the past that association football it is how they came up with the word soccer. Okay, and how that works is in Britain, in I think it was at Oxford actually. There were 2 footballs at the time. There was rugby football and association football. And the college kids there called the rugby guys, they called them ruggers. So you just rugger. And then association football they'd call soccers, because it was association, so the SOC from association, and then they would make it an so soccer. So there was rugger and soccer. And because you couldn't use the beginning of the word, because then you'd be an asser. Right? So they moved it from asser to soccer, and that's how we got the word soccer. So the question is it soccer or football? Well, they're the same thing. They come from the exact same words. Association football, or soccer for short. That's how we got it. Anyway, that's the show I have for you today. Stick around for the after show. I'll be going through all your comments. If you made it this far, what the heck? You can hit that like button. It doesn't cost you anything. And it means a lot to me, so I appreciate that. If you got something out of the show, let me know in the comments, where I will be reading them coming up next in the after show. I'll be back tomorrow. Until then, peace. Hello. Welcome to the after show. I'll just leave that up. We are the champions. Indeed. Let's check out the chat. Apothecary John checking in. We got lots of fun emojis over there. Where is the squad at Lucid Moments of Reality 5150? Oh, people wondering where's everybody in the chat today, right? People were a little late. Flame on, indeed. Ah, Lucid Moments showed up. Yeah, flame on. I wasn't convinced on the yard sign before, but seeing as how it's circled, yeah, I think that's a really weird, marketing, really weird advertising. Let's just look like we've taken out a ballpoint pen and we're circling things and correcting things like your teacher did when you were in high school. Use a red pen to circle things, to show, and underline things to show it's important. That's gonna get people's attention? I don't know. Kind of weird. Kind of weird to me. Lizzo trademarked the shape of the potato. Bump. I will say that's a joke of the day there, Lucid Moments. Very nice. An apple a day will get you sued. Indeed. The non-emergency number is only a suggestion of help. An inference. That's true. Yeah, I wonder if the amphitheater called the non-emergency number for help. Yeah. Actually, you could get on social media and you could actually see people were filming the guy. They were actually filming the guy before he did any shots. They're like, look at that dude over there. Well, he's got a gun. What the heck's going on? You know, you can kind of go, when these things happen, you can hop on social media and you can see things that you don't see in the filtered news. I bet the amphitheater has fun acoustics. Well, you're not getting the echo from the other side of the canyon, if that's what you're asking. It actually sounds fantastic. And it is a beautiful, beautiful place. They have the stage, you know, the stage down, and you're overlooking, and especially there if you're doing a festival, or if you're watching usually what they do there is they will have a lot of like all-day shows, so they will have more, because it's a hassle to drive that far to go way out there to go to a show. So they really you don't want to just show up and see like one opener and see the band, right? So they want to make it more inviting, so they'll have like a full day of, you know, a full day of different bands or whatever. And so you're there and it's just a beautiful place. You lay out a blanket on the grass. There are some seats down front. Although I think I'm probably priced out of the seating area now. It's become so expensive, you know. But it's great because, you know, in the summer you can see the sunset go down and the whole canyon is just beautiful. It's a really nice place. Let's see. One gunshot could sound like a dozen. Indeed. Well, what I heard is that this happened during the show. Okay, so the show was going on, and this happened out in the area outside of the venue, like in the camping area. Now, the camping area is not far from the venue, but what some people may do is they may go out during the show because you could have, let's say, a cooler of beers or something out at your campsite that you wouldn't be allowed to bring in to the show, or any other kind of drugs that you wanted to use. You might not be able to bring them into the venue, and so people go out to the camping area during the show. And so this actually happened during the show, and the people at the show didn't even know that this was happening. So I imagine the music was so loud, it was EDM, so loud that they just didn't hear the gunshots. A beautiful outdoor venue near me, the Arboretum in Dallas, overlooking White Rock Lake. I am familiar with the Arboretum in Dallas. I didn't know they did. I didn't know if they did concerts there. But I guess they do. But I lived out there. I would ride my bike out near White Rock. Really nice. CONCACAF. Exactly. That's exactly how it's spelled, Lucid. We beat Mexico in illegal immigration, Tom. Well, that may also be true. It's like whack-a-mole. Okay. Interesting background on soccer. Yeah, so that's actually where we came up with soccer. There's rugger and soccer. Let's see what's happening over on the Rumble chat. Apothecary John, good afternoon. Tobias, good to see you. I saw Newsom, OX_00. I saw some Newsom ad shorts, but I see RFK is getting a lot more attention. But ironically, to their name, the Dem Party leaders can pick the nominee according to their rules instead of popular vote. Well, that is true. That did come out in the lawsuit against the DNC, that technically they can just get together in a smoke-filled room with cigars and choose the leader, and it really doesn't matter who the people vote for in the primary. It's a private organization. They can do whatever they want. That's the truth. So that's why I do not think they would ever allow someone like RFK Jr. to be the nominee. I don't think that that would happen. I think that they would just step in and say, no, he's not the nominee. It's going to be Biden or Newsom, right? Tobias is here. It says, a Republican will win again if they can get a new world or pro-war globalist establishment sellout past the primaries. You know, someone like George Bush, Mitt Romney, Chris Christie, etc. I don't know. I mean, like, I'm making my prediction. Like, today, this is my prediction. My prediction, Gavin Newsom's the next president. And I may update my prediction in the future, but that's what I think. I do think... Now, I'm hoping... I don't... Again, there's a difference between what I think will happen and what I hope will happen. It's not like I'm rooting for Gavin Newsom. I'm not rooting for Joe Biden at all. I just think that that's who the winner will be. I do not think, probably under any circumstances, that it will be Trump. And I think that that's why the establishment is working so hard to make sure that he can't run, because if he is the Republican nominee, it's going to be really tough to convince everyone that he doesn't win. You know? So that's why they're trying so hard to stop him now. Machines can cut down on call waiting times if people stop calling back because they don't understand, because it doesn't understand to work well. Perhaps machines can cut down on waiting time. I don't know. Again, I'm just looking at this as an outsider. I've never worked in that industry. All I know is when I call the non-emergency number, and when I had to call a number of times because I had someone living outside of my house and they decided to use part of my yard as a latrine. Can't really call 911 for that. So I'd call the non-emergency number. And like I say, it was always at least 20 minutes before I even got to anyone. And most of the time, they couldn't do anything. They said, well, do you want us to have someone call you back? Like, yeah, please. You know. Let's see, one party rule. That's kind of what it looks like. Yeah. Anyway, well, that's the show. I appreciate all of the support today. I hope you all have a beautiful day off. I have the day off as it is a national holiday. It is Juneteenth. So get out there, do something fun, go for a walk, and get off my lawn. No, that's another show. Anyway, y'all have a beautiful day. I'll see you mañana. Peace.